So in today's video, I created this look using all Black owned beauty brands. This makeup look I feel really confident in. I can't wait to share some really incredible brands with you guys, old products that I've loved for a long time, as well as some new favorites. I wanted to use today's video to hopefully highlight some of these incredible Black owned beauty brands, but to also shed some light on how difficult it can be for a Black owned brand to succeed and to even start up. Studies have shown that minority-owned businesses receive lower loan amounts. They typically have less employees on the payroll, so tend to be stretched very thin within their businesses. And because of the effects of COVID-19 right now in the United States, the number of Black-owned businesses in the United States has dropped by 41% since the start of COVID-19, comparatively to a 17% drop in white-owned businesses. That's why in today's video, I wanted to donate all of the ad revenue from this video to Black Girl Ventures. Their aim is to secure capital for Black and brown women founders. We'll talk about it later in this video, but Black businesses are also incredibly underrepresented in our country in general. They make up about 7% of small businesses, whereas the population of Black Americans in this country is about 13%. And a lot of this goes back to income and just general wealth inequality in this country. The median household net worth of a Black family is around $17,000, whereas a white family is about $170,000. And according to data made public by the US Federal Reserve, Black business owners are twice as likely to be rejected for a loan as white business owners. This is something I feel incredibly passionate about because in me, I feel a sort of entrepreneurial spirit. I would love to one day own my own business. I know that if I were to ever start my own business, I just wouldn't have to face the same roadblocks that I know a lot of Black women will. So again, I feel very passionate about Black Girl Ventures, so thank you guys for watching the ads. There might be a couple more than usual, but hopefully that ad revenue will really add up. Not every makeup brand that we're talking about today is considered a small business. I mean, Fenty Beauty is definitely not a small business at this point, but they all started somewhere, and to be able to achieve the success that some of these brands have made, they've had to work much harder than a lot of other brands out there. So thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it interesting, if you found it helpful, and I would love for you to subscribe. So with all of that, let's just jump right in. And I promise that you won't have to look at my unibrow pimple for too long, but I did want to quickly mention a couple of skincare products that I feel very passionate about. I've already mentioned these in my best of 2019 skincare video, but I did want to give them a mention again. I have the Stellar Restoration Serum and the Symmetry Fluid from Klur. Klur was created by licensed esthetician Leslie Thornton. I've been following her and her brand for about 5 years now. And back then, I mean 5 years ago, I really didn't know anything about skincare. I had reached out through her website and had a bunch of questions about how she was sourcing ingredients and just wanted to know more. And back then, it was probably one of the most positive experiences that I had had with a company asking questions. You know, I was just so bright-eyed and really wanted to learn everything that I could about skincare. Her response was really about educating. It wasn't ever about marketing. I was just talking to her. It wasn't like I was talking to a brand, if that makes sense. And I never forgot that feeling. Leslie just has a way with formulas. She's been working with clients for a long time. That hands-on experience really, I think, is what makes her products different. And I think is the reason that she's been able to come out with formulas that I think are something different and really do work. Let's first talk about my personal favorite, which is the Klur Symmetry Fluid. So if you have been looking for an antioxidant serum or a vitamin C serum to just keep your skin balanced and healthy, this is one that I consistently recommend because it's great for sensitive skin. Some antioxidant serums, especially with vitamin C, can be a little bit sensitizing, but she actually uses a vitamin C derivative. She uses sodium ascorbyl phosphate in this. That derivative tends to be a little bit more stable, but she also combines other antioxidants. Ginkgo, white tea. The dream team is also in here. There's squalene, glycerin, camellia seed oil, rosehip oil. This serum is super packed, but it's not going to sensitize your skin. She uses enough calming ingredients. Her formulas achieve results, but they don't put the skin in a compromised position when you're using it. So I love that approach. I also really enjoy the Klur Stellar Restoration. This is actually a product that I only use in areas where I get hormonal acne. It's one of the only retinol products that I have used that hasn't had a negative impact on my skin. I wouldn't put this all over my face just because I have dry skin all over, but in problematic areas, I found that this has been really helpful. This has squalene, of course it has vitamin A, but it also has niacinamide, which you guys know is like one of my favorite ingredients, aloe leaf juice. So reading the ingredients, you'll be able to tell how much care she puts into every formula, and when you're actually using the products, it is not even a question. So again, please check out her products. I feel very strongly about how great they are. All right, I did promise that I was going to take care of this blemish though, so you wouldn't have to look at it. I'm going to use the Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Longwear foundation today. This is a really great medium to full coverage foundation if you tend to have more dry skin. It offers quite a bit of coverage for being more of a fluid foundation. It never is very heavy on the skin. I'm always very impressed with how lightweight this actually looks on the skin without being too drying. Fenty is definitely not a small business by any means. I really did want to give Fenty a shout out though, because they really, on a larger scale, got the conversation going about inclusive shade ranges. Of course, Fenty's not the first brand that had a very inclusive shade range, but they definitely led a paradigm shift within the industry. And they've also done a good job with some of their other pigment products. Something that I would love to see changed, and I was kind of reflecting on this looking in my own makeup stash, is that though we're getting better with shade ranges, pigment products still are falling behind. So products like bronzers, especially bronzers, I've noticed that just brands aren't coming out with enough shades. All right, there is a wasp outside of my window that is really freaking me out, but we are just going to move on to concealer, and today I'm going in with the UOMA Beauty Stay Woke concealer. Just going to quickly apply that under my eyes, and what I like to do is let my concealer set down a little bit before I blend it out. That way I get the absolute most coverage. I purchased the shade White Pearl T1, and it's actually a really good shade match for me. I think some of you are probably aware that I am very, very picky with concealers as a whole. There are a few that I love, and then all of the rest I just kind of am like, you know, they're fine, but I'm just going to stick with the ones that I absolutely adore. I was not expecting this concealer to wow me the way that it has. It's creamy, it's smoothing, it's more of a skin-like finish, so it's not too dewy, which I actually really like. I like to be able to have a concealer for every finish that I want. Sometimes I don't want a super dewy concealer. This one is a really great skin-like finish. UOMA Beauty was actually founded by Sharon Shooter, and she had been working for like makeup conglomerates, L'Oreal, Benefit, Revlon, and she just found that these large-scale conglomerates didn't care about inclusive beauty, and if they did, it was more so from a profitability aspect. They were more concerned about being inclusive to stay on trend, but she wanted to sort of create her own movement for inclusivity within the beauty space. She also did create Pull Up for Change. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it on Instagram. So Pull Up for Change is basically like this grassroots movement that she's created to ask companies and brands to sort of pull up and share the amount of Black workers that they have on their workforce at both corporate and executive levels. The goal is to have at least 10% of your workforce to be Black. The movement asks that they share these numbers, but it also asks that brands make the commitment to get to that 10% mark and for their workplace to become more diverse. So it's really cool because it actually is holding brands accountable and asking them to make the changes and then hopefully also give updates in the future. My whole thought is that there have been correlations over and over, study after study, showing that more diverse workplaces are more productive, they're more innovative, and they're more profitable. So really, in my opinion, there's no reason a company shouldn't want to diversify their workplace. Let's quickly do a little bit of eyebrows because I think my brows could use it right now. Going with the Fenty Brow MVP in the dark brown shade. We're going to try and avoid this zit while also making my eyebrows look a little bit more shapely. I definitely recommend this brow pencil if you're looking for a pencil that's more on the waxy side. I tend to prefer a more waxy formula because I don't need a ton of pigment within my eyebrows. I just kind of want to give them that shape. And I find that a waxy product tends to give me a more natural look as well in the brow. All right, feeling a little bit better about where the brows are at. So let's jump in to bronzer. I'm so excited to share this bronzer with you guys. Today I'm going in with the Danessa Myricks Color Fix 24-Hour Nude. Danessa Myricks is a makeup artist, she's a photographer, and the founder of her own beauty line. Her makeup line is definitely geared more towards makeup artists, but once you understand the products and understand how multifunctional they are, you just quickly become incredibly impressed with these formulas that she's created. Danessa, like a lot of the other founders that we're talking about today, saw that there wasn't makeup for everyone. So she wanted to create her own products. She's really passionate about multifunctional makeup. I'm using 2 of her products today, but I have 2 more that I just need to save those for a separate video. I'm gonna do a whole tutorial using those products because holy shit, they are like a fantastic eye duo. But today we're gonna use the Color Fix Nude in the shade 8. So what is a Color Fix? So it's a hybrid color cream that's incredibly long wearing. I'm talking like it's pretty sweat proof, suitable for like underwater, but it's basically like a paint that you can use on your eyes, your lips, all over the face. So this formula is super versatile, but it's also super hardcore. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit on my sponge and just tap a little bit on and then use the other side to blend it out. See, you really don't need much product at all, but I absolutely love this shade as a bronzer. It's incredibly natural on me. It actually reminds me a little bit of the mocha shade from the Fenty matchsticks. You guys know I really love that shade. Just take your time with blending it, again, and build it. Don't put too much on all at once, but this will stay on my face until the minute that I take off my makeup. It is some exceptional long wear makeup, but it looks so skin-like and so lightweight and thin on the skin. You can't see it sitting on the skin, which you guys know I'm not a fan of makeup that sits on the skin. Take a little bit on my nose because why not? You just can't tell where the product starts and stops on the skin. I love that lightweight quality to it. So these come in some different finishes. There are the nudes, there's mattes, and then there's metallics as well, and glazes. So if you're interested in how the metallics and the glazes look, make sure you subscribe because I'm gonna do an entire video of this eye look that I cannot stop wearing. Anyway, so incredibly happy that I purchased this. Next up, let's blush up the face a little bit. I'm going to go in with my Juvia's Place Bella Blush. Juvia's Place was actually founded by Chichi Iburu. Started with eyeshadow brushes and then ended up getting a ton of traction with her eyeshadow palettes because she would come out with these just incredibly pigmented palettes that would work on people with even the most deep skin tones. When she started coming out with all these eyeshadow palettes, she decided to expand her cosmetics line. And this is a blush that is incredibly pigmented. You guys know that I love a coral blush, but you do not need much with this. So I'm just going to take a brush and do literally like a tap and a half, and then just apply it to my cheeks. Again, a little bit on my nose. So if you have trouble finding blush that will actually pop on the cheeks and give you that color that you're looking for, this blush will give you the pigment that you're after. But I have to say, the product that I tried from Juvia's Place that I'm incredibly impressed with is the Saharan eyeliner. Basically what you get in this set is a black and a brown gel liner and then a brush, and it's all for about $15 I think, so it's a really good deal. This formula is incredible because it's not too thick and too dry. Something that I find really makes it difficult to get a precise wing is if the product is too wet or if it's not creamy enough, if it doesn't like to glide on the skin. It's really easy to be precise with it, but it also will set down, and it's not gonna set down to look dry or kind of crispy on the lids. I know that's a really disgusting way to describe it, but have you ever had that liner where you can kind of see it's like dry paint? It's a different texture than your skin. I really dislike that look in a liner. This one is incredibly pretty. So I'm going to quickly do a little bit of liner. Application was probably a bit questionable today, but we're just going to move on forward. Next, going in with the Fenty Full Frontal Mascara. This sample is at the perfect stage of like being just wet and dry enough. This mascara is really nice if you like that really lifted, fluffy look to your eyes. It really gives my lashes quite a lot of lift. Really nice mascara. I know it's kind of hard to tell with all of the liner that I put on today. I haven't done like a wing liner in a while. It used to be like my classic go-to look. I used to be like wing liner every single day. I know that sounds crazy, but then I started using more cream eyeshadows, and I've been playing more in that realm for like the last year. But I'm not gonna lie, it feels really good to get back into the wing. But I could definitely tell that I was out of practice when I was applying the liner. Before we move into the lips, I wanted to take one more product from Danessa Myricks, which is the Danessa Myricks Wet Dew Highlight. I know it literally looks like a clear pan, but you can kind of see it's a translucent like gel highlight. I can't wait to show you guys what it looks like. This is by far the best clear highlight that I have ever used. So if you're looking for a product without pigment, she does have some with pigments throughout, but if you're looking for the perfect completely clear highlight to just give your skin dew, this is by far the best one that I've tried, and I've tried quite a few. So it's this jelly balm texture that doesn't feel sticky. So many of these clear balm highlights feel very sticky, or they just feel like Vaseline. This one is the most lightweight while also just looking like dewy skin. It doesn't leave your skin feeling sticky, but you can see there how it just gives the skin the look of like actual dew. This brings the skin back alive, and it just doesn't feel really sticky or tacky. It's surprisingly lightweight. My skin just has, it looks like it's just a little bit more dewy and fresh. You would not be able to tell that that was product sitting on the skin. Next, let's go in with a little bit of lip liner. I am using the Lipbar Smudge Proof Lip Liner in the shade Straightlovin. So Melissa Butler is actually the founder of Lipbar. She was working on Wall Street for a while, and then she would go home and, you know, make lipsticks in her kitchen, and she did that for a long time. But she eventually took that plunge and quit Wall Street, and then went on to creating the Lipbar. And eventually she actually made it into Target, which is where I bought this. This is a very creamy liner, and they actually incorporate jojoba oil in here and aloe vera to give it a really nice glide, and this definitely gives quite a bit of pigment without it feeling choppy or too stiff. I can totally see myself using this as just like a lipstick. It's so creamy. And what we're going to put on top is actually this lip gloss from Mented in the shade Coralition. I absolutely love this shade. So Mented describes this as shiny and smooth. It gives a really pretty sheen to the lips without overdoing it. It's not a lip gloss that's going to look overdone or too apparent. Incredibly smooth, and I just love this shade. It's really unique. I have not seen another shade quite like this. So the founders of Mented Cosmetics had made a similar leap of faith as Melissa Butler from the Lipbar. They actually left their full-time jobs to completely devote themselves into this business. And they also just were not seeing the inclusivity that they wanted to within the makeup industry. They had actually first focused on creating the perfect nude lipsticks. They discovered this problem. They talked to a lot of Black women in their life and said, you know, is this a problem for you? Can you easily find a nude lipstick for you? And they all agreed that it was definitely a problem that a lot of Black women shared. They were actually able to raise $1 million in capital. That's kind of unheard of. So unfortunately, they're definitely the exception, not the norm. But Black women as a whole, they're the most educated group in the entire country. They have by far the largest growth rate in opening small businesses, but they're also the most underfunded. Black and Hispanic entrepreneurs are way more likely to start their business with less money, and they quite often just rely on their own personal money rather than going to a lender or investor because they're afraid of the rejection, which Black and Hispanic people are more likely to be rejected. They're less likely to be approved for credit. And again, that's why it was important for me in today's video to give the ad revenue to Black Girl Ventures. And this is the completed look. So I hope that you guys found today's video to be informative. Please continue to use your voices to fight for diversity in the workplace. Use your money and support these Black-owned businesses. These women are creating some truly incredible products. I feel fortunate to have discovered them, and I hope that you guys discover them as well. We all need to make sure that we're using our money to support diversity within the retail spaces that we shop. Thank you guys again for watching. Thank you again for watching all the ads in this video. I really appreciate you guys joining with me to make a difference. So thank you guys again, and I will see you in my next one.